What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chopped. This is going to be a really cool episode of Chopped with a very cool knife. Many of you already know the knife I'm holding. If you do not know this knife, this is one of Twosun's best ever made. Their best knives ever, in my opinion. The Twosun TS195. This is an integral frame lock. One solid chunk of titanium makes up this frame, and it's a good looking knife. It's definitely more of that futuristic look. So if you're not into the futuristic looking knives, you may not like this look, but man, I love this look. I used to own one of these knives and I traded it a while back. Coincidentally, that knife is back here right now to get anodized, which I still need to do the ano on. So Julio didn't need to send this one, but he did. Thank you very much, Julio. I do appreciate it. And he sent the chopped one. Also, he did the chop, and this is a knife I'm very familiar with. I love this knife. Such a good son. It's a little big, honestly, for what I like to carry, but I carried it anyway just because of how damn good it looks. It's a sexy knife, man. That blade shape and that handle shape, it just looks so good. It is a fidgeting dream. It's got a flipper. It's got the front flipper, and it has a very nice fuller for the reverse flick. Thumb flick can be done, but it's not the best for thumb flicks. But the reverse flick, fantastic. If you hit it in the right spot anyway. It's been a while since I've had one of these in hand. But this is going to be one of the first chops that I've ever done where I'm super familiar with the knife. So, you guys ready to see the chop version? All right, let's pull it out, take a look at it. Here it comes. This looks so good, guys. This is such a good job. Look at this little guy here. Now, Julio lives in Chicago, or it's the Chicago area. So, he has knife laws there. He can't carry anything over 3 inches. 3 inches and over is illegal for him. So, he chops out of necessity. And, man, did he do a good job on this one. Goodness gracious. With the forward finger choil that it already has, chopping this down, making it smaller, just makes it the perfect knife for my hand size. It really is the perfect knife for my hand size. Couldn't ask for much more. Such a good little knife. The action is still fantastic. No change in the action at all. If anything, it's better because you get less weight in that blade to flick out. Yeah, such a good job, man. Yeah. All right, let's take some measurements, and then we'll weigh it and see how much weight it lost, because this one definitely lost some weight. With this being an integral, it's a heavier knife for its size anyway. But let's see what we got going on here. All right. Where did I put my tape? Oh, there's my tape. All right, the original knife, overall length, is 7 5/8 of an inch, and the blade length is 3 1/4 inches, and his chop variation is now just under 6 5/8, 6 9/16, and the blade length 2 3/4 now. So perfectly legal for those 3-inch states, those commie states, wherever they may be, like Illinois. I don't think it's the whole state of Illinois. I think it's just like the Chicago area. All right, let's check out the weight, because this one definitely lost some weight here for sure. It's noticeable in hand. All right, let's see. What does the original weigh? And after we weigh it, we'll take a look at the grind, see how it looks everywhere. I didn't zero that out. Hold on, let me reset that and zero it out. All right, the original one weighs 4.5 ounces, and the chopped version weighs 3.8 ounces, so almost an ounce taken off the weight, which, like I said, is very noticeable in hand. But you know, I always held this knife by the forward finger choil, because that's just, my thumb lands on this jimping, right? This is how I always held it. It just always felt right in my hand this way. Most knives with the forward finger choil, to me, always feel better in hand if you use the forward finger choil. And you know, with my hand size, that leaves a lot of knives sticking out, right? With this one now, with forward finger choil, it's still hand filling. It completely fills my hand, but not so much sticking out now. And even if I come back here in a normal grip, I can still get 4 fingers on this. Larger hands would probably struggle, but he took quite a bit off the butt of this knife, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. But yeah, right there, man, it feels so good. Such a good little knife. He did such a good job on this. He refinished the titanium also. The original comes with like I don't know if this is glass blasted or bead blasted or what kind of blasting they've done on this, But he went with the more polished look instead of re-blasting it, and I think it looks really good. I hope my camera shows up the difference in the look of this. Let me see if I can get this over here a little closer, get a little more light in here. So it's not very different, but it is lighter, a little lighter, but it's not polished to the point that touching it makes it all show up and tarnishes it. It's done extremely well. I need to ask him how he refinished the whole knife. I'm really curious to know what he did and how he got this finish on it. All right, look at this. Let's line up the pivots here, and you'll see how much he took off the butt of this knife. So I'm gonna line up pivot to pivot. He took quite a bit off the butt of the knife, and which made it a little wider right here. But if you look at the original, it kind of almost like a sway back comes up here at the butt of the knife, ramps up a little bit. You can look at the frag pattern, ramps up a little bit right here, ramps up a little bit more on the butt of the knife than it does at by the pivot. Now it's more, you got a little bit of a ramp you got the same ramp by the pivot, and you can slightly see a little tiny bit here at the butt of the knife. And now you can see, so he's grounded quite a bit down. Like I said, he's down past this pocket clip. So you can see, you know, where the integral, where the titanium was cut out the middle right here, to where the blade was back quite a bit right here, to where, you know, this was flush here. So you can see how far he took it back to where it's all the way past all this solid titanium. And if you look, let's look at the pocket clip screw on the inside. I think that will be very telling. Uh-oh, my battery died. There we go. So hopefully I'm not whitening this out anyhow. So you guys can see where they drilled into this chunk of titanium. The screw is not coming all the way through that. The screw is just barely poking through this thin part right here. But he's gone past that. He's grounded that much of the titanium out of there. And then on his, he did 2 screws because this is recessed into the, on the original, it's recessed into the titanium, so you can get away with 1 screw and it won't move on you. He didn't recess it. He just tapped for 2 screws, so it still won't move on you. But one of the screws is the only one coming through the thin part, like this one, you can see. The other one is going into the solid chunk of titanium, so it didn't come through. But the screw is not coming through. You can just see where he drilled through and then he tapped it for the threads. It looks really good. Hopefully y'all can see that on camera. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up for you. Hopefully it shows up good. You can see the finish a little better with this light also. I'll hold the other one up here and show you the finish on it. So here's the original finish. It's much darker. I think it's a bead blast. I'm pretty sure it's a bead blast. And this is a great knife, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this knife at all. It's one of Twosun's best ever, in my opinion. But I honestly, I like the chop better. It's lighter. It feels better in my hand. I feel like I have more control over this knife. I feel like I have so much sticking out here, it just feels awkward to my hand. With this one, it just feels right, man. He did such a good job on this. He's also laid his edge back. Looks like he's gone back like a 15 degree or a 17 degree edge here. Definitely laid it back quite a bit. It's gonna have a much better edge than the factory edge does. This is the factory edge. This is his knife also. Both these are his knives. He collects Twosuns also, so. But man, he killed it on this thing. Did such a good job. You guys really go follow Julio on Instagram, man. Takes a lot of really cool pictures. Got a great knife collection also. He sent a lot of knives in for the knife sales also. So one of these chops will be available in a knife sale very soon. It won't be this next one or the one that's going on right now when you see this video, but it will be coming soon. You'll see a chop video soon that will have a knife for sale in it, which is going to be cool to see how that works out. It's a very cool knife also. More higher end knife. Man, I got fingerprints all over it. Yeah. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? Comment below. They're both this is such a good looking knife. It's hard to beat, you know, aesthetically, because it looks so good. It's just, to me, I love this look in a knife. And looks just as good. You know what else I just noticed? Look at the way he reshaped the tip. So in the original, they bring it down like this at this angle for this Wharncliffe, and then they come down again instead of coming straight out to a point. So it makes the tip a little more robust, so it's not too thin. It's still pretty thin there. But on Julio's, he came down, just kind of rounded it down sooner. So the tip is definitely going to be a little thicker on his, a little more robust. Let's check that real quick. I'm going to try to come to the same spot. I'm not checking behind the edge. I'm just going to come up to about the same spot on both. We'll come up to where this makes this bend right here. And we're at 30 thousandths right there. Right where it makes that last little angle down to the tip. And this is probably about the same area down right here. And we're probably about 40 thousandths. So it's definitely going to be a little more robust, which is probably why he laid this edge back so bad. Make it a much better slicer and cutter. And the knife is already a great slicer and cutter, but goodness gracious, that feels good in hand, guys. Killed it on this. Great job, Julio. Great job. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if Julio's doing this for other people or not. You guys feel free to message him on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram, send him a message if you want to have something done. Super cool guy. Very easy to talk to, so very knowledgeable in the game, too, in the knife game. He knows what's going on. And, yeah. He should make these and sell them. He should definitely do them for others, because I think this would be extremely popular for people. I think this would become an extremely popular chop for him if he offered to do it for other people, because just killed it, man. Absolutely killed it. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up. Comment below. Which one do you like better? You like the chop version better, or you like the regular version better? Once again, I like the chop better. I think I'm a smaller knife guy. I just think I am. Although I love this knife, this is a really great knife. I love how this feels in hand. This feels much better in hand to me than this does. And the action is, I think the action's slightly better too. Maybe that's because there's less weight in the blade. It just comes out better for me. Or it could just be a slight variations in the detent between the two knives. Who knows? But great job, Julio. Really like it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, because there will be another chop coming next week, and you're not going to miss that one. That one's going to be the most expensive knife you've seen chopped yet. Let's just put it that way. And should be very interesting for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.